Rest in peace, Big Pop.
There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
Okay, so it's been a little bit since we've sat down and did this.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Not sure where this is exactly gonna start, but we know exactly what we want to cover. So I'm gonna let Lisa handle the intro here.
Well, welcome back. It is 2024. It's a couple weeks into 2024, but it is been a busy 2024 already. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Lisa Lovely, aka Lisa, and this is my wonderful husband Dan, aka Mac D, aka
bottles over here.
Papa, Big Papa. No.
Rest in peace, Big Papa.
Ooh. Cheers in and toasting. Well, we just really wanted to jump in real quickly and just tell you some things that we learned in 2023 that hopefully you can take note.
We've been trying to concise this thing down to a list, and it's been growing,
we
decided to hit record before it turns into a series.
But you know what, I think when we started there were a lot of things that we were just like not sure about, you know. So if you had someone that you could listen to that was like, these are the things that you should know. Like, there's a lot of people online that you're gonna find, they're gonna tell you, just hit record, just do this, just do that.
Or like how to get from 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000 to 100,000.
How to get to 10,000 to 100,000.
Yeah.
How do you get to 1,000, bro? How do you get there? Yeah. And we haven't gotten there yet, and we're not gonna act like, even though we're here cheers in, and we're about to give you our information that we've made it by all means, but we're gonna get into that. We are going to touch on that. So we have, in kind of random order, kind of building up the mountain. It's not really a ranking system, but they all culminate at this last thing that we want to talk about. Some points that we've learned in 2023 that
we are taking to 2024, and like I said, we are trying to pass it on to the people behind us that, you know, may eventually pass us. But when you get there, make sure you share it as well.
Yeah, and then tell people to come back and say, this little channel helped me out.
All right, so
lucky 7 and maybe some bonuses.
So the just record thing, literally everybody's gonna tell you that, especially in the beginning. Turn on the camera or turn on your phone, whatever it is, and just do it, right?
There's a lot of advice you're gonna get, but I think it gets repeated so often that it starts to lose its meaning, and you start to not really understand what they mean by just record. You know, it just sounds like this motivational, like get out and record.
The tip in particular that we're gonna talk about when we say just record is, don't think about all the like, oh, the best YouTube videos are 8 minutes long. You gotta try to cram in as much stuff in there. Slow down. If you film something for 20 minutes,
and only put out 4 minutes,
which we've done 2-hour long things and been like, this is only 30 minutes. But you are the master of your destiny. You are the content creator.
You are the boss here in YouTube. So the thing is, ultimately, whether you want to share 4 minutes, 8 minutes, just record. Some of this stuff is going to be outtakes, some of it is going to be bloopers, some is going to be
never even see the light of day, right? But record it, let it be out there. You might realize, you know what, I didn't like that recording, I'm gonna record it again, and I'm gonna do it this way and that way. So that's what
you might do your whole recording and notice there's something on the tip of your nose. You might record something, and while you're in the middle of saying it out loud for the first time after rehearsing it over and over, you stumble upon, oh, I'm saying this wrong, and that is how I really want to express it.
Exactly.
So that's what we mean by just record. You can do the most prep work you can, but until you hit that record button and that red light comes on your camera, that's where the inspiration comes in some places. That's where all the magic happens. So until you hit the magic button, none of the prep work is going to really matter. So you have to just record. It's not just an inspirational, just start your workout. It's more along the lines of, you're not going to get there until you start recording. And you're not going to stumble upon some magic until you start recording.
I'm going to piggyback on that to get to number 6, which is, no one is watching, okay? Remember that. No one is watching.
Which sounds brutal, sounds negative.
I know that.
That sounds like nobody, but nobody
no
is
one
watching.
So take the time to try different ideas, to try out different formats. To, you know, oh, I recorded my bathroom.
You can tell this negativity came from me. But
no.
I want to get at why I said
really
this
is true.
as well.
Is like, take the time to feel out where you're comfortable, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I wanted to record in the office. This is our little studio. Dan was like, oh, we could record in the bedroom, and I'm like, you know what, this is our studio, this is why we created this space. You might say, I am more comfortable in my closet.
Remember, other than the people that are helping you to produce the content at the time, nobody is watching. So you can feel your way through the just record. Unless you're going viral with your first video, nobody's watching. You're gonna celebrate 50 views. So you don't need to be worrying about somebody in the office or somebody at work seeing your content while you're still stumbling through trying to get confidence, your lighting, your audio. Your first content is gonna be your worst content. But the beauty is nobody's watching. Take advantage of that. No one's looking at you in your infantile stage. By the time they are watching, it's probably when you're most comfortable. You've now found your groove. Think about when you're at work, you know, nobody is watching you while you're on like that probation 90 days. You know what I mean? They're not watching any mistakes you're making. So make all the mistakes then. So that by the time it's over and you gotta fly on your own, you are comfortable in your own skin. So go out there and make the mistakes now, because nobody's watching. It doesn't matter right now. Number 5 is gonna be confidence. So confidence is going to be built up from doing the first 2 steps. The more and more you hit the magical red record button, the more you'll see, you know, I have a tendency to touch my nose or twitch or do these things. You'll notice these things, and while no one is watching, you can build up your comfort talking in front of the camera. All of those things build up your confidence. It's what Lisa was talking about. If you're not making content in your home, like you go somewhere, like you go to a store. Oh man. There are eyeballs on you.
If you're using your phone, if you're using your camera,
you're standing in the middle of Costco or in the middle of Walmart.
People will look at you like you're a weirdo, right? Some people are like very receptive and they want to know, oh, what are you doing it for? And they'll ask questions and stuff like that.
We live in an area that there's a lot of content creators, so people are open to that here.
Well, this time, the time is like people are kind of know what's going on. No matter the most boomer of the bunch, they know like, oh, people are recording because they're doing some type of content creation. But it does take that confidence, and it's going to take you consistently doing things for you to build that confidence. Like
and record.
We've already spoken about. Sometimes this content is never going to even be seen. It's okay. Today you recorded a bunch of stuff that you're like, I didn't really like it. There's always tomorrow. Scrap that and keep going. So build that confidence to reach that point where you're like, oh yeah, this is like nothing to me.
You could have been on recordings 100 times by the time you find your first video. You could be so much more comfortable by the time you're editing your first video to your second video that it just seems day and night. And it'll come from confidence.
I'm going to link a video up here that shows you how many times I used to say like when I used to turn on the camera. It was just a nervous habit or whatever. In my normal speech, I don't really say like that much.
But it's a public speaking.
It's literally like instead of saying or a lot of people vlogging might do it and they just edit it out. But those are things that, you know, it takes time and your confidence will come. Just be aware that it may take some people longer. This consistent recording really does help your confidence, but you do need a little bit of confidence to get there.
Which goes straight into our number 4. Lisa just said it. It takes some time, so it's going to take some patience. You got to be patient with yourself as you're getting better. You're not going to turn on the camera and just right away be Mr. Beast or the #1 content creator or the level of confidence that they are, or the guy that or gal that is in your niche. That person, they took a while to get there. It's going to take patience with yourself.
So just remember, things will align. It just takes time. And just because someone in your same niche came after you, one viral video or whatever, take note to that and say, okay, maybe that's something that a style I can try.
They might be in a different demographic than you. And just because they flew that high that fast, it doesn't also mean that they won't come crashing right back down after a viral moment. Some people, if that cut happens to you too early before you've built up your confidence, now you go chasing that viral moment and trying to recreate that instead of create new, original, genuine content that you are confident that is going to be good.
Give yourself grace to understand that it will happen.
Just like with scuba diving, they tell you that you can't just change elevations quickly,
Okay.
that is how you gotta go building upward.
Yeah.
If you shoot too far up, too high, that's not always great. So don't get grudgeful. Don't worry about it. There's so much space on YouTube. There's enough space for the people that are gonna make it overnight and the people that are gonna take years to do it. Within our own household, we have 2 different niches. So even though the same person might be on 2 channels, our growth levels are at 2 different paces. And it's hard. It's hard to not look at, well, this channel started after this channel, but this channel is surpassing this other channel. You have to know what your time frame is, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. So you're gonna have to have patience with yourself.
All right, number 3 is focus.
Focus.
Staying focused on what's important to you. Why did you start this channel? What was your ultimate goal? You may feel lost if you don't stick to what your center is, what your goal is, why you decided to press record. If you don't have that ultimate goal of like, oh, I wanted to, give back to the community, I wanted to highlight my philanthropic activities that I do in Orlando or whatever.
And it doesn't have to be deep. It just stays focused on why you originally wanted to do this. If you're doing this and you're getting success, but you originally did this because you wanted to share your happiness and you're not happy doing what you're focused on,
it becomes more of a, and content creation is a job, right?
Yeah.
But it becomes more of a task at doing content creation than being like, oh, this is something that we really love, this was a hobby, this is something that we started because we wanted to spend more time together, or whatever your ultimate goal was. If you don't stay focused on that, you will begrudge content creating. You will burn out.
You will
easily.
hate hitting the red button to record because you're lost your focus from what you're originally doing. And it translates. If I'm not having fun on camera, no matter how much of a good actor I am, you're going to pick up on it. Someone is going to pick up on it, and they're gonna see that from a mile away, and you're just gonna come off as fake. So remember why you're doing this. Stay focused on that. Not too hyper focused on it, but you have to know why you were doing this and not be distracted, because that's one thing. There's a plenty of space on YouTube for all of us, but there's plenty of distractions as well. And make sure that you are always centered in what your current reason for continuing to hit record, which springboards into
this one is a big one. Okay,
number 2, which is numbers.
Yes. Everyone thinks about subscribers, right? We think about subscribers. In this household, we have 4 channels. Lisa Lovely, Absolute Sitter, My Plus One, Cutting Up, right? That's the order, right? We have 4 channels. Between all of those channels, we have less than 1,000 subscribers, right? And again, somebody watching this is gonna be like, why are you even recording? What can you tell us, right? But we're here to say that subscribers is not the most important thing. There's other things to take note of when you are a content creator.
It's not as important as you initially think it is. So subscribers is important. I'm not gonna act like you're okay with having 0 subscribers.
We do want the 1,000.
So hit subscribe, by the way.
Yes, if you haven't done already, please hit subscribe. We do this very often. Please.
We care if you hit that subscribe button. But it's not as initially important as you might think. Somebody that hits subscribe and then never watches YouTube is not gonna help you out as much as getting new watchers that are constantly getting in front of new eyeballs and getting engagement with people. That is what is really
back that up. Other things to take note of besides subscribers is audience engagement, right? On Cutting Up, his community has conversations without him in the comments. Like, they're not even asking him now.
You can have people having a discussion or arguments with each other, and you don't want to start fights, right? But when they are not engaging with you, they're engaging with each other. Like, I use this, or I do this. That is when you know you're really actually building a community. These people want to talk in a group. They're not just interacting with you. And this is why you see these people talk about their subscribers in the way they do and call them family and call them all of these things, because the interactions are not just with you. So that engagement is important. Your demographic numbers is important. You know, if for whatever reason, whatever niche you find yourself in, you find that like India is where is watching you, well, maybe you don't want to follow the schedule of upload that they're statistically telling you in the US to do if you're over here in the US.
So again, we talked about audience engagement, we talked about views now, right? You just said if your audience is primarily, all of these things are going to be in your YouTube studio. Again, if you
all of the statistical
all
numbers,
these analysis stuff is in your YouTube studio. Pay attention to that. Look and see who is watching, what they're watching, right? Okay, that's very important.
And also what
how they're
not
watching it and what they're not watching. Okay,
exactly.
What they're not watching.
I got a video on my channel. I got a video on my channel. That was one of my launch videos.
I know the video.
I did 4 videos. Bonus tip after a little bonus tip. Yeah, so launch with like 3 or 4 videos and make sure that they're within your niche, but maybe centered in 4 different ways. This will give you not only something for people to binge watch you on, but you can kind of see what people are reacting to and say, hey, they liked when I did this video, they really liked this. Yeah. They weren't really messing with this one too much, and this one I don't think they were really sure about.
Was it the length of the video?
Was it just your thumbnail?
Was it the language you used? Remember the lady that was doing the Orlando reviews, like the Orlando like tourist spots? And I was like, oh, she sounds Brazilian. I wonder if she has a channel where she speaks Portuguese. This woman, and the numbers are completely different. Her English channel
Portuguese
versus her Portuguese channel is insane.
It's like 2 different content creators. So pay attention
to that. And she might not have even noticed. Maybe she just did one video.
She was doing the same exact content
in a different language.
Yeah.
So pay attention to that. Initially, when Dan started, he had a lot of India watchers.
For some reason, I don't know where you guys went, but come back. Yeah. In all seriousness,
pay attention.
Not just your subscribers.
So subscribers are important, but there are also other numbers to pay attention to.
Yeah.
See what your community is paying attention to, what your community is speaking of, what your community is saying, nah, we're not feeling this.
And I'm gonna tell you, when you launch your channel, 100 views is like, it is enough to go
50
buy.
50 views,
it's enough to go buy a bottle of champagne, okay? But
yeah.
In all seriousness, that first 100 views on that first video with like 3 likes and no comments is not gonna hit as hard as the one that has 50 views but 49 comments and like 49 people hit the like button, because those people are likely to come back or send it to somebody. Whereas you might have got me to view something, whether it was good or bad, but it doesn't mean I'm coming back.
True.
So there is more than just views. There is more than just subscribers. Numbers. It's a numbers game. You got to get into those numbers
and play around, which leads us to number 1.
It takes all of the things that we previously spoke about. That's why this is number 1, is learn to pivot.
Pivots, guys.
Yeah.
How do you want to know when to pivot? We've highlighted that we have 4 channels, right? Lisa Lovely was a channel that I created to talk about our wedding. I did like 4 videos and I never went back. Okay. Absolute Sitter was a pretty successful channel that Dan was discussing EPL, which is English Premier League, football.
I'd still love to get back to doing
which,
that.
he might, right? And then we did My Plus One, which you're watching right now. So you're doing something, right? But Dan was like, I want to do a video. And I was like, okay, just you? And he's like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And he did this video. And to this day, on My Plus One, it's our highest viewed video. Right now, it's what, 5,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. All our views, I think the most was like 700, 800. Right now we have one that's like 1,000. Which we're taking note to. We're learning and paying attention to those analyses. Where to pivot with that. But this was such a hard punch in the face that we had to think, is this something that could be successful
on its own?
Right?
And that's where I pivoted and made my own channel based on just that.
It has taken us almost 2 years to get to where we currently are at like 301 subscribers. Dan has not reached his year mark. I think February 15th is his year mark. And he has surpassed My Plus One subscribers, right?
Humbly, it's not there yet.
Because this is my baby, I'm gonna give you a little some stats, right? His channel alone has brought in thousands of dollars of profit. His channel, and when I say his, it's me and him. We know this is not his channel, right? our channel. But the Cutting Up channel, if you haven't checked it out, please, you know, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification when you get there. Men's grooming, men's skincare, men's health. So might not be your thing, but he's built a community that is not only income producing, but it is a community where men are engaging with each other. It's something that I'm so proud of, because he saw something, was like, I gotta shave. I have a bald head, it's nothing new. You know, I have a beard, it's something I do.
It was sustainable. It was something I have to do. It's something I enjoy doing. It was something that I felt comfortable on camera doing with confidence, right? I had a focus, and because I had tried something new while no one else was watching, you see how I'm building through all of these things? It culminated with a channel that I can say is being successful, and I can see becoming more successful. No matter what happens on this channel, that channel's success was birthed from this channel. And it came from using all these other steps. I brought this up as an example to Lisa many times. There's these guys called the Hodge twins. Now what they're on now, maybe that's not for you. They've gone, you know, into the political realm. But initially the Hodge twins started off as these two twin brothers who were really into fitness, right? And they were doing their fitness channel and people were watching, but they weren't messing with it as much as when they started to do their cheat meals. Their cheat meals happened to coincide with when the mukbang craze happened, and people thought they were funny as they were doing their cheat meals. So they were still working out, they were still doing that, but people were more focused on that part, and they knew when to pivot and say, okay, you know, maybe we'll keep the workout part for us, right? We won't so much put that on camera, but we'll mess around on camera eating our food, our cheat meals in the car from working out. It's sustainable, it's something they were gonna do. They had already been comfortable being on camera from their other stuff. They knew when to pivot. Hopefully we have taught you guys something. We have had some very modest success right now. We have goals for much more than this, and you guys can be a part of that by subscribing and continuing to watch and all of that kind of stuff, and we thank you for doing that. But what I can say is keep learning. You're going to learn things. You're going to stumble upon new lighting, new things, affiliate link things. You're gonna stumble across all these technical things. There are people that have less viewers than you that are gonna be able to teach you something. There's somebody that has way more viewers than you that's in a totally different niche that you're gonna be able to learn from.
Say that part again. Just because you are a beauty person doesn't mean that you can't learn from one that does carpentry or something like that. Listen out, look at people who have the most views and you're like, oh my gosh, why are you getting 1 million views? Watch it. Like Dan used to like laugh at me because I used to watch a couple of people and be like, you're trying to figure out the secret sauce. There's no secret sauce. The tips we showed you are things we've learned, but even in that, there's no secret sauce to get us to 1 million views, 1 million subscribers. It takes just working hard, being patient, building your confidence, keep doing it, consistently putting out the best that you could put out within your realm.
I want to emphasize what she's saying. The best that you can put out, that's it. If it takes you a year to put out one video, that might not be sustainable. If it's the best that you can produce, that's good enough. The secret sauce is just consistency, what is sustainable, and what you can be authentic with. There's people that are loud, proud, and wrong as hell about whatever they put out. But damn it, they're having a good time putting it out, and they are confident with what they're putting out. And they're being authentic. Whether or not you agree with them, if they're being authentic, they will last. Those are the people you're going to see with longevity on here. No matter how good an actor you are, if you are on here being fake, you are not gonna last here, because people will not let you last.
YouTube will let you know about it, okay?
TikTok is worse, but YouTube is just as wild.
They will let you know.
One last toast and cheers. I hope you guys learned something, but please comment below, let us know if you agree with some of these things, if you're able to implement these things. Come back to this video, and most importantly, start your channel up. Start your channel up and comment your channel. We'll come check you out, especially if you took this as your starting point. If this was enough to push you over the edge, if we are that last little motivation, that last push to get started, toast to that. Cheers to not only our success, but to your success. To you finally starting a channel. Don't start a podcast. We got enough of those. But there's always space for another content creator, influencer, all of that. So cheers to you and your success.
Cheers.
You will always be my inspiration.